Welcome to the first cooking class that we're doing for Chi Kitchen Facebook page. The first request was a beef Thai style wok toss with mung bean noodles. If I bring you through here to the ingredients that we'll need, first thing we'll need is some crushed garlic. So you can either use fresh garlic, which will be a lot stronger, or you can just buy some crushed 100% crushed garlic from supermarket or an Asian grocer. Next thing we'll need is either you can use fresh chili. We make our own chili paste, which is made from fresh chilies and dried chilies. You can just use fresh, which is the most common way they use in Thailand. The third ingredient is Thai basil. So this is only available usually in Asian grocers, and it's a smaller basil leaf, but it has almost an aniseed taste to it. So often when if you're having a Thai style wok toss, you'll get an aniseed or a licorice type flavour. That's the Thai basil coming out. The soy that you need to use is a Thai soy. This one has only Thai writing on it, but if you see the logo, it's called Healthy Boy Soy. That's the conversion. You obviously will notice the yellow label. This is one of the best soys to use, and Thais use it in pretty much every dish they have. And the beauty about this soy, unlike others, is you can actually use it. It's ready to go straight in the wok. Most of your other soy sauces, you need to convert them into a sauce, make a sauce out of them first. But this one's just ready to use, so it's a really good one to use at home. Second, the beef that we use a round steak, which is off the rump. We trim it up, all the fat, all the sinew off it, and just end up with lean beef, and just sliced really thinly. It's often, if you cut your own and slice your own, you end up getting, I think, a finer cut. But if you ask the butcher just for whatever stir fry they recommend, if they've got a good one, you can use it. But in my experience, sometimes you end up getting quite a tough beef. But that's one that you'll have to rely on your butcher. You can use eye fillet, be a lot more tender, but it does dry out. So you can use any cut of beef you like, really. We've cut up some sliced onions. The key when you're cooking with the wok is always to cut things very fine so they cook really quickly. The quicker you cook it, the less heat you'll lose in the wok, and the better quality, especially when you're cooking at home. We've just sliced up some zucchini, some red cabbage, and cut up some broccoli, and we've actually blanched these as well. So generally broccoli will take a little bit longer to cook than your other vegetables, so we always blanch ours off just a minute or two. That means boiling it and then cooling it down. If you're cooking it from scratch, you'll generally cook it a little bit longer. But for the sake of how we do it, these will all now cook at the same time, so it makes it easier for us. The last thing is the mung bean noodle. So that's what you'll be looking for, a mung bean thread. This one's a thicker noodle. Most of the ones we use are a fine style noodle, and that needs to soak for a couple of hours. So all you need to do is soak it in cold water. If you're making it at night, you can soak it the night before, or on the morning before you get up and go to work, and it'll be ready to use when you come home. Then it only requires a really quick blanch in some hot water, and it's ready to use. Okay, so now we'll just put the fan on, I think. So the secret to wok cooking is to always have either a steamer or some sort of, do you want to come and have a look? With all your vegetables, you always want to be cooking them in the water first, so that the vegetables are being cooked in there and not trying to be cooked in the wok from being raw. This is a common mistake that people make, and particularly when you're at home, that's what brings down the temperature. So what you want to do is have as little cooking in the wok as possible. Okay, so we'll turn it on. Don't be scared to get the wok nice and hot. So once you see it at home, it takes a little bit longer. We've obviously got pretty big flames, so don't be scared at home to let the wok smoke a little bit. Once it's smoking, put in a couple of tablespoons of oil. We use rice it's pretty good value too, not that expensive. So once you've got your oil in, let that smoke up a little bit as well. Now the onions and the beef we fry together because that's how we maximise our flavour, and they go in together. Now onion and beef go in at the same time. As you can see, it's getting a little bit smoky. Can you see? I'll just turn that down a little bit. If it gets a little bit too smoky, you can always add a little bit more oil. At this time, we put all of our vegetables in the water to get them blanching. And we'll leave them in there for a minute. And we'll come back to our beef. Now at home you won't need to turn it off because the flames that you have at home are not very strong. Here we have to. So this is where always when you're frying your onion and beef, this is when you want the garlic and the chilli to come in. So they're the first ingredients. This can obviously be a choice. You can have heaps of garlic, heaps of chilli, or a moderate amount. We tend to use about a teaspoon of each. And that goes in, and what you want to do, particularly with the garlic, you want to cook that out in the wok. If you don't cook it out very well, you get that raw garlic taste that can repeat on you. So we let that fry for another minute. The vegetables will be about ready, so I can just bring them out and put them to the side. When I'm at home, I use a steamer. I find the steamers work really well. You want to try and get a lot of that moisture out there as much as you can, a lot of that water to drain off. That way we don't get too much water in the wok and it becomes too wet. Now our mung bean noodles go straight to the water as well. Then we finish with our Thai soy, about a tablespoon per serve. You've got to be careful with this soy, it is quite salty. Sprinkle of Thai basil. The Thai basil is obviously for people that like it salty, you can have a little bit more soy. Those that don't, you can just reduce the amount. These you'll definitely need to do in a pot of water. As you can see, they're ready to go. That was dipped in for maybe 15 seconds. And then we just put that in the wok. Give it a quick stir fry. And we're done. And that's how quick it is. So again, you serve it up. And there you have our beef Thai style. With mung bean noodles, as we serve it here in the restaurant. Now, the one thing to remember or reiterate is that when you're cooking at home, the most important thing is that all of your vegetables and your noodles are done outside of the wok with a steamer or water. And as you can see, the only thing that we actually cooked in the wok were the onions, the beef, and then the garlic and the chilli. The rest is pretty much just stir fried through. If you do it that way, it'll be much easier. Your vegetables will cook a lot better. They won't be, sometimes you'll find broccoli, if you put it straight in the wok, the tops will be soggy and the stalks will be really hard. They definitely require water to be blanched. So I hope you enjoy. Contact us through Facebook if you've got any questions, and we'll be doing one of these every week, so if you've got a request,